Hello there and welcome to Smile and Spread a Little Joy. I'm Deborah, the Smile Lady, and this is my co-host, Coconut, a rescue from the Pasadena Humane Society. It was released August 1st, 2014, and was mine officially on Obama's birthday, August 4th, 2014. Did I say 15? 2014. I'm ahead of myself. But anyway, Smile Haven here is a place where we help your child tap into their inner smile. And I try to have guests on here that's positive, has a lot of energy, to be an example. Because you know what? If they don't see it sometime, they feel they can't be it. And we have a lot of words of wisdom that comes out to help your child. So, since we were all born to smile, and I'm going to let you know this acronym, SMILE, is support, motivate, invest, love, and educate. Now, we were all born to smile and to leave this place better. Sometimes we get off track because we don't know what our smile or our purpose is. And that's my goal, to help the little ones learn that very early. Right, Coco? And I would recommend you go down to the Pasadena Humane Society and adopt a dog. Or go to some of these group homes and adopt a child. Because I truly believe dogs and children are a true judge of character. So let's get with it before we go to lasting memories with a smile with Delightful Debbie. We're going to right now break down that smile and weave a smile into her passion. You have anything to say, Coconut? No? Oh, you're just trying to be cute? All right, good. You can do that for the first show. All right, here we go. Now our S, American Sign Language, is S. Let me take this ring off real quick. And that S, support. It takes a whole village to raise just one child. Don't say you don't need help. Ladies out there, don't say you can raise that boy to be a man by yourself. Get some positive role models and mentors. Your M, okay? That is motivate. Enthusiasm, that means in God. Check that word out. That's what it means, enthusiasm, that inner motivation. What is it you love doing so much you would do it even if you did not get paid? You've been doing it since you're about 5 or 6 years old, maybe a couple of things, but you smile every time you do it. That's your purpose. Now invest, this is your I. Now, I do need money. I'm a nonprofit. You can go smilelady.org, but I'm talking more about, more importantly, giving back. Let's use the sign for serve, giving back, leaving this place better than you found it. So you take that thing that you love, give back, leaving this place better. All right? Then your L. The smallest word in smile, but the most powerful. And you know what? It's agape. I'm not talking about I love a hamburger, I love them shoes, I love it. No. We're talking about that true God kind of love where you love even the unlovable. That is a commandment. That is what we are here to do. That's the only place we can leave this place better, is to love ourselves first. Put that extra demands on yourself first. Then share that love with others using that gift we were talking about to leave this world better. All right? That's that L, love. And the sign for that is this. Isn't it ironic that it's a hug? We need to hug ourselves and smile at ourselves every single day. Now your E. E. This is your E. You could do it like this. Educate. Okay? Or you could do it teach. And what I do with that is train up a child in the way he should go. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. And knowledge is strength. And only the strong really will survive. So now that we got through that, that's smile. And we're going to spread just a little bit of joy with Delightful Debbie. Because we're going to talk about lasting memories and everything else, probably a part 2. Because this lady is fabulous. We've been knowing each other since 1982, really knowing and seeing each other in passing, and just now getting together, 2014, and it will be lasting memories from now on because we're not going to lose this connection. So without any further ado, I'm blowing them out of the water. I am so excited. Give me your hand, Delightful Debbie. Before we go into your passion, where did the delightful come in? Because you are delightful all the time. So where did delightful come in?
Well, I think that came when I was in radio, nope, don't think I'll give that date. I was in radio, I was the first woman in radio in Seattle, Washington, 18 men and myself.
Whoa.
And somebody started calling me Darling Deb. And then somebody said, no, Delightful Deb. And so it sort of hung on. And my show was called Delightful Debbie's. And a few years later, I'm still carrying that name.
Because you're only 39.
That's right.
That's
you
it.
got it.
39, right.
Yeah.
Now, another one, I'm out with you, and people call you Mama D. Where did that one come from?
Well, Mama D came from my godson. And he started calling me that, and he started telling his friends about, he's a musician, and he started telling his friends about Mama D. When you go to Washington, D.C., call Mama D, she'll bake you a cake.
Oh.
So the show business world started passing the word, and in the world of musicians, I'm known as Mama D.
Okay, so Mama D, and I'm Deborah, so D and D, D squared here, huh?
That's right.
A dynamic dual, DD. Oh, see,
Amen.
we'll do
Two
everything.
Debbies,
Two,
wow.
Oh, Lord, there you go. They can't
Yes.
handle us in the booth, huh?
No, they
Ooh,
can't.
They can't. So now we can go ahead with what you love doing so much that you would do it even if you didn't get paid. It doesn't have to be one thing, but you've been doing it ever since you were a little girl, maybe 5, 6, 7 years old, and every time you do it, you lose track of time. It makes you smile. So what is it?
Oh, there's a million things that make me smile.
Okay, good. That's why you're delightful.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, I could start back from, like you said, from a child.
Exactly.
I love people. People make me smile.
Okay.
And this time in my life, I'm going to move on from there to here. Right now, I see the world and I see those children that you're talking about. And I really want to do something to make them smile.
Oh, girl.
And
We may have to do a weekly. Oh.
I tell you, so I've been dreaming about a mentoring house. And that mentoring house is to take young girls, and I have no problem with taking young men either, but the young girls I'm finding today are just lost when it comes to doing the simple things that we learned. They don't know how to wash clothes. They don't know how to wash dishes. They don't know how to wash themselves.
Oh, tell it.
They don't know how to cook. They don't know how to clean. They don't know how to act. They don't know how to dress. And my god sister once said, if they knew it, they do it.
That's it.
And
that is it.
So I want them to know it. And so I'm going to start a mentoring house for young women to come and learn the simple things in life.
Yes.
And how are they going to get married and have children if they don't know how to do anything?
Oh my goodness. You know what? Oh my goodness. You are just so delightful. You are just, thank you. That don't let me get up here and dance to that happy.
Oh,
Lord, that help. You know what? That is so true. It is our jobs, because a lot of times when we're talking about them in the streets, we're up here saying they may be in a foster home. They may not have anybody to teach them. And let me tell you something, young ladies, those out there with a man that you're calling a dog, yeah, I'm talking to you. Now, if you're calling your man a dog, think about it. What does that say about you? Because I don't think dogs marry cats or dogs get with ducks. A male dog gets with a female dog, and a female dog is called, oops, I ain't said it. You got that answer. Now, you are calling yourself that if you call your man. So now, why don't we switch it a little bit? Why don't you call him a king? What does that make you? There you go.
Queen.
What does that make you? So start acting like one.
Yes.
And faith is a substance of things hoped for. If you say he ain't acting like a king, he's a dog, you got faith, because you keep on calling it and you keep on acting like a queen, not a Quisha. You'll see how it changes. Okay,
Amen.
now that's what that mentoring house. Girl, I'm with you.
Well,
I'm with you. I'll collect cans.
Okay.
I'll sponsor that. So that's what you love doing, and both of us, maybe that's the Debbie thing. Judges for
yes.
Deborah and Barack. Come on, Deborah. Okay. So maybe that's in our name. We've been called that so long. That's our purpose.
Exactly. I have 3 teenagers living in my home, and I really began to see, I would say, wash the dishes, and they didn't know how. And I'd say, wash your clothes, and they didn't know how to separate their clothes. I'd say, pick up your room. They didn't know how to fold their clothes and put them in the drawer.
Hello.
And I was astonished because this is something I've known all of my life.
Oh, tell me about it. As soon as you can stand on the stool washing dishes.
And even how to make a bed.
Oh, no.
So this dream came to me many years ago, but I was so busy doing so many other things.
Raising a family and living and surviving.
And working. And so I started out writing a book. And which I never finished, but I'm going to finish. I promise. I promise.
Let's make that promise right now. Okay, witness, got a witness. We're going to finish our book by the end of 2:15.
Well, I'd like to do it before then.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Okay, let's shoot it. But the deadline, the absolute.
Exactly. Is
Okay.
2:50.
Okay. So now, if we get it done now,
Yes.
okay.
Because if they could read it, they would say, "Oh, I didn't know this. I didn't know this." And then I'd also like to have the book for something that they could take with them after they've come and learned, or I've taught them these things. They could take it with them. Maybe they could teach someone else.
Yes. Oh,
and
I
that's
believe
so
in
important, is passing it on.
Pay it forward.
Yes, and I dreamed about this mentoring house, and I wanted this great big house with 4 or 5 bedrooms, so each of the girls could have a bedroom, and I had all of these wonderful things in mind. And one day the Lord spoke to me and said, "There's nothing wrong with your house.
Oh.
Use your house."
Use what?
And I'm like,
Feel the dreams.
What?
Feel the dreams.
and so
Build it and they will come.
I thought about it, and I says, okay, we'll start with my house. And maybe somebody will come along and loan me a big house. I don't want to own it. I just want to loan to me. And then I could have more girls. But it's just been a dream, and God is so good. He just gives you so many ideas. And then all you have to do is follow through.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
I think that's the hardest part, is following through.
through.
But then that's when you get your smile.
Oh, that's it.
Because you've done what the Lord has told you, and you've helped somebody, and it's really exciting to me. I'm looking forward to possibly doing this by the 1st of 2:15.
And you know what? I see why they call you delightful. I mean, and I can imagine listening to your show and just you painting these pictures the way you were just speaking right now. I could see the girls. I could see that. And I think radio is really good for the imagination. Now we get TMI, too much information.
Yes.
And we don't get to use that mind and that yearning. So your support system in this, I know, the Lord #1. And with the boys, you had mentioned something earlier about I would like boys too. But I truly believe, and I want any woman out there to challenge me, that a woman can't raise a man. She can raise a grown boy. She needs male mentors and role models.
Most certainly.
So once you get a solid male role model that'll commit and not quit,
Yes.
you could take in boys.
Yes.
Because they're the ones that's going to help nurture them to become a man. Now, I see a lot of grown little bodies,
Yes.
but they're grown boys.
Well, I start on the streets teaching them.
Thank you.
And,
Exactly.
I stand back at a door, and they look at me, and I look at them, and I say, "Open the door, sweetheart."
Thank you.
And they open
do
the
the
door,
same.
and they say, "What do I do next?"
see?
Because they actually don't know.
You know, I have now grown men or maybe boys that'll see me struggling, almost falling down, carrying stuff,
Yes.
and they'll look at me and walk away
Yes.
on texting or whatever.
Yes.
And back in the day, that was unacceptable.
Unacceptable. Absolutely.
You don't even have to know the person or like the person. You help them, whether it's a
Exactly.
man or a woman.
Exactly.
They don't give up the chair.
Open car doors.
They don't give up the chair. I was here first.
Yes.
That lady can be crippled and blind, and they still sitting there like this. And I'm like, and people wonder when you're looking at them, what they looking at me for?
But I just walk up to them and say, "Excuse me, do you mind giving a lady your seat?"
Yeah, see? And then, well, guess what some of them will say? When I see a lady, I give it.
Yes, but when they see me, they know I'm a lady.
Uh-oh. Oh. Woo! Yes. Yes,
You
there
have
you go.
to, it's the way you approach them.
Yeah, exactly. When they see you, they know you. And see, the thing is sometimes I've been on the bus where people were even sitting in the handicap thing.
Oh,
And they
definitely.
not supposed to be there.
That's right.
And they won't even get up. So sometimes
But I will ask them,
Oh,
believe
yes.
me. I'm not handicapped, but I'm 39, and I think the sign says all of those over
Yep.
39.
Yeah, that's it. And you know what? Maybe they'll do right now. This one, they can play this back to back to me. The words of wisdom from my sister Bonquisha. She couldn't be here, and then also the one with the texting and driving. We need to teach. We need to teach. So maybe they can do that. I don't know if she's gonna tune in or whatever for Bonquisha, but when they're ready, they'll kind of let me know. To get her talking about that support and how we need each other. I need you.
Most definitely.
I need you. And,
Exactly.
you know, just to polish and fine tune my edges and vice versa, you know.
Exactly.
So basically when they're ready, they'll let me know if they have my sister coming up, you know, for the words of wisdom. And we'll be back with delightful Debbie after my sister, Bonquisha. Hi, I'm Bonquisha, the Smile Lady's twin sister. And my words of wisdom for you today is to follow your heart and to really drop your pride. And if you need help, ask for it. Sometimes we think we can do it alone, but no man is an island. And it's not showing weakness to ask for help, actually. That's showing wisdom and strength. You don't have to do it alone. Because I'm pretty sure that what you're going through, somebody else has gone through it. And they can walk you through it, hug you through it, talk you through it. It's better than just being alone and being miserable. So I know if you don't have a person to talk to, call me. You can reach me through smilelady.org, my sister, or you can email smileladyjoy@gmail.com. She'll give it to me. All right. Thank you for smiling. And again, it's okay to ask for help. It's wise. Oh, my sister, now that she got the knack on how to make a little studio in her house, you're going to hear more from her. She's just getting beside her little self, you know, thinking now she Miss Bonquisha instead of Bonquisha. But anyway, yes, you need support. And we were raised in the same household, same parents, two different points of views to let you know that we're unique individuals. But you know what we got to learn how to do? How to agree to disagree. We have to take everything and we can learn from each other. And then I know they're going to be playing the texting, and that'll come up, and they'll let me know when they have that ready. But back to you, delightful. I know lasting memories. What makes you smile? What makes those memories last for you?
Well, I have so many lasting memories. How long did you say this show was?
We may have to do a part two. I told you we're going to go directly because I know you have a lot to share. So what makes you smile right now?
Well, I think everything makes me smile.
That's why you're delightful.
Because I recognize that I don't have any control over anything, that God is in control of it all. And when I think about that, I smile.
Okay. So what were your careers? Did you have any careers that made you smile?
Oh, gosh, there's so many funny things. We'll just talk about my first career. Young woman walking down the street from the grocery store, minding my business, and this voice comes out and says, "Hey, baby."
Uh-oh.
And I keep walking, you know.
Uh-oh.
And he said, "Hey, baby, I'm talking to you."
Uh-oh.
And I keep walking, you know, and he says, "I'm calling you. Come here, turn around." So I thought, well, gee, he really wants me. So I turned around and he says, on a serious note, he says, "We're opening up a 24-hour jazz station here, and we need a secretary. Do you know how to be a secretary?" And I said, "Yes." And he says, "Can you come back Monday and meet with the boss?" And I said, "Well, I guess so." So
That walk must have been something. Hold that thought, because we coming right back after we teach these kids, do not text and drive. This should go viral. This is something that they said share to everyone. We're going to be right back because NBC4 did a fabulous job. This is one of my favorite pieces regarding texting and driving, and I've been guilty on that too, and I'm really, really hounding on that. We'll be right back after this positive message. And Delightful Debbie, you better hold on to that thought because I want to hear more about that walk that got you that job. Uh-oh. Okay. So we'll be right back after this smile. This is an education smile.
No, I don't know though. I'm scared. I mean,
Do you know that you're in my lane? No, not at all. Are you not paying attention? Are you texting? I was just checking in with my mom. I was telling her that I thought we'd be home by 6. It's okay. There's enough time. Just pay attention. I'm not even halfway through my text. There's no way. I'm not even going to look up. My babies are in the car. You have to pay attention. It's just supposed to be a quick text. I'm so sorry.
Welcome back. And if you want that for your students, for your children, just go to YouTube, NBC4, and texting and driving. You will get it. There's a lot more, but they're more graphic, bloody. It just depends on the age of your children. This one I thought was good for everybody. Now we're going to get back to Delightful. That walk that got you that job, that jazz station, go ahead.
Yes, well, I went back for the interview. They hired me on the spot.
I wonder why.
And it was just the most fantastic thing to see this whole radio station evolving from actually a little office space and just listening, knowing that I loved music and I loved jazz. This was the perfect spot for me, and all I could say was, "Thank you, Lord, you knew exactly what I wanted." I had never given it a thought.
Oh, wow.
Never in my life had I thought about being in radio. But so then I got very popular as the secretary because the boss didn't like his voice on the air. And so whenever somebody couldn't come to work, he would give me their slot. And I'd be the disc jockey for that hour or 2 hours.
Wow.
So I learned all the text and whatever that you have to do in radio. It was so much different than it is now because we're talking about a few years ago. And so basically it was just a great thing. And then finally there was a gentleman who had a midnight show and he didn't show up a lot. So I ended up with his show at midnight. And it was just a great thing. It was a great experience. But then I went on to live my life after that was over. And I did leave because my husband wanted me to be home with my children. So I went home to be with my children. And then I moved to California.
Oh, my goodness. I know I saw you when you were working in D.C. This is around 2002 or 3 when we went to see my daughter. She performed me. It was a true story about me.
Yes,
But you were
yes.
there then in D.C., so you were
Yeah.
going back and forth then at that time.
I was living in Seattle for 11 years. I came back to California, and I had another experience, somewhat similar. I was just minding my business, and my phone rang. I had signed up at the telephone company to be a operator. And so I had gone out on a couple of temporary jobs, and they loved me at the phone company.
I wonder why.
So I get a phone call from the phone company one day, and they said, we have a job for you. And I said, oh, it's, Christmas time, Thanksgiving. I don't want to work. I want to be home with my children. So they said, well, no, we really need you to go and take this job. And I said, well, what is it? And they said, well, it's Motown. And I said, Motown's in Detroit. And they said, no, they've moved to Hollywood. And the telephone company has given them your name as the best operator we have. And so I went for an interview, and they hired me. But I only wanted to work part-time, so they hired me part-time.
Oh, my goodness.
And so that I could be home with my children. After working 3 months, they made me head of communications.
Okay, wait a minute. So you're working, now your children, how many children you have?
4.
4, and okay, see, you have 4 children, and you were raising your children, and the thing is if you're delightful, things will start coming to you. Come on, because see?
You believe that if you delight yourself in the Lord, He will grant you the
desires of your heart. That's it.
And
so that's
sometimes
good.
you don't even know the desires. They're in your heart.
Yes.
But they haven't reached your brain yet.
Well, the smile lady came up not because I was all happy, but because I was, ooh, Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. But I had to learn how to smile before I taught the smile. And that is my cue there. And you know what? We're coming back for part 2. Yes, we will. Part 2, because delightful is just too delightful to leave alone. And we're going to get deeper into her lasting memories. And that book, hold us to it. It will be out by the end of 2014. And no later, my book, Growing Up at 60, Never Too Late to Learn, will be out by 2015, the end of 15. So thank you so much for smiling. It's been delightful. And Coco, you did really good for your first time, huh?
Really
It's been really, really, really good. And I'm telling you what, you know what, we both have all of it.
Someone to turn to, but there's no one to turn to but you. Don't cry, reach down inside. When you smile